spent the last couple days trying to figure this out, and I got it figured out. Even though I've been 3D printing for almost a decade, this was totally different. Just for a little background, your standard 3D printers work with what's called a hot end. It uses plastic wire. It just goes in here, and there's a motor that feeds it into here, pretty much like a glue gun, or if you're a guy, a MIG welder. It's exactly like a MIG welder is, but then it just continually feeds the plastic at whatever rate you set to build your part layer at a time, from the bottom up. This, on the other hand, has an LCD screen here, and it projects light up to UV light to cure UV resin. And it still does it one layer at a time from the bottom up, but it does it upside down. Basically, you have a build plate, and I took and I sanded this one so it's flat because it has some edges on it, and it's smooth now. I used like 180 grit on there, and then hit it with some 320. I figured the scuffs would help it stick a little bit better too, because I had some problems with it adhering in the beginning. Come to find out though, there's a reason for that. After some failed prints and a little bit of search on the internet, apparently the fix for it one second. I like how simple these things are compared to your regular FDM printers. You got one motor, one screw. There's just not a lot of moving parts to it. Your standard FDM printer has sometimes 5 motors, 4 motors. Some of them have to be timed, and they have to be timed so they thread up to right at the same time, and some other things like that. So this is a much simpler mechanically setup, but this is messy. It can be messy, I should say, if you have any mishaps. But this tape here, apparently you have to have something to shim between the tank liner and the glass, so it creates a suction and it actually pulls your part off the platform. It took me a little bit of frustration and some internet searching to figure that out. Some people were talking about it on a forum. I can't remember exactly what it was or obviously who it was, but it wasn't my idea. I just did some reading on it. But you don't want to cover up any of the pixels on here that are going to light up. It's not on there enough. I just have about a 1/4 inch of it sticking over on the LCD screen. What they say gives it just enough of an air pocket between the liner that's on the bottom of your tank and the glass here, so that it doesn't create that suction from here. Just like in the other style of 3D printing, they're leveling the bed seems to be the other big key to it. So when you get one of these new, if you do get one of them new, you're gonna pull it out of the box, and it's gonna be, you're gonna bolt this on here, and pretty much it's all assembled. It's really easy. And these things were so expensive a few years ago. They were almost $3,000 for a machine like this, and now they got this for like $250 or something like that. With a coupon, it was less. But you just take a sheet of paper here, go to your menu here, and you're gonna go to manual, and you're gonna go to the little house symbol for home, and it's gonna bring the plate down. Make sure you loosen these screws up first. I already got these loose. There should be, maybe not. Yeah, this looks finger tight. All right. And all you're doing is making sure that this is parallel to the glass in the LCD screen. Once you get it down like that, see how tight the paper is in there. If it's really tight and you can't pull it out, then you need to go up a little bit. This one's fairly tight. Not bad. If you really got a tug on it though, you want to bring it up. Wait, was it 0.1 of a millimeter? That one feels pretty good though, so we're just gonna hold it with one hand here so it stays down. Tighten these screws up. And it says tighten in this order. This one in the front first, 1. And then this one on the side first, second, 2. I would suggest wearing gloves all the time because this resin's kind of messy. It's not as bad as that 2-part resin that hardens up on everything. It stays liquidy for a long time and it cleans with alcohol good, but it's still messy. Once you get that snugged up, then you want to check it again. There. So I brought it up 0.1. Where this will slide under, but it still has some friction. This paper's 4 thousandths thick. All pretty much the same. This tape doesn't help though. Still got some friction, and it's not super easy to pull out, but it comes out without having to wrench on it. Alright, once that's done, you need to go back to the previous screen and hit set Z0. That makes that your home and confirm. That makes that your 0 point. Let's raise it up out of the way. Back to manual. And bring it up like 30 or 40 millimeter. This thing's made really well. It actually uses a lead screw. It's got linear rail on it too. It really is, I mean, for the money, it's really well made and sturdy. Everything's metal on it. There's no plastic really on anything except for maybe, that's metal too. Everything's metal. Go back to your main screen. Go back one screen and hit exposure. Hit next. And you should see the same triangle light right through here. This is UV light here. As long as you have a solid triangle around it, or solid rectangle around there, then just like it matches in the front, then all your lights are working like they're supposed to. If you have something missing or something out, then you're not going to get the print's not going to work correctly. Let's go back to the main screen. Back. And your tank, like I said, has this plastic liner in the bottom. These are a wearing item that you do replace them. Looks like there are quite a bit of few screws to take out to replace them, but be careful with them. Don't do what I did the first time either. You see this max line on here? Don't fill it up to there. That was a mistake. The proper way to do it, so I found out, is to get your model ready, and it'll tell you how much of your resin you're going to need, and then you just put that much in there plus a little bit more, and that's it. I guess if you're doing a lot of stuff or something, then you would want to fill it up. But alright, so that tape gives it this red deal there. It still sits in there nice and sturdy. Even the tank is made out of solid metal. I mean, it's really impressive actually for the price. Once you get that set, I got a model here that I'm working on. I'll do another video to show you how to do all the slicing and everything like that, but for now I'm just going to show you how to set it up and start a print. Comes with a USB drive with all the software you need on it, and manuals and stuff like that. And this thing does work offline. You don't have to have it plugged up to a computer. I'm just going to use the flash drive to put in there. This uses a different file format than regular FDM printers also. That's what I notice people are having trouble with. They're trying to put STL files into this, and it doesn't work. It doesn't read STL files. When you put them into your slicer, you'll download STL files from like Thingiverse or wherever you want to do something. You put it into your slicer or something you draw yourself, and it'll convert it to a CBDDLP file. So that's the only thing this thing will recognize. So if you're trying to do STL files and you've been doing this for a while, it's not the same, and it'll make you think it's not working when it is. So a lot of the complaints people were having on the internet and on Amazon and stuff like that were due to the fact that they didn't know, like I didn't know, the differences in the two types of printing. Most of them were just user error, which is a little bit of a learning curve. I already sliced the file and everything I want, and ahead of time, I'm just going to put it on here and put it in the machine. Like I said, I'm just learning as I go with this. So, slicing basically is when you takes a model, like in this case, this Eiffel Tower. I don't know if you can see it or not. And it goes through and figures out by the layer height you set how many different layers it's going to take. It slices it up into 1,000 different layers or whatever it's going to be. This is cool with this, so it automatically figures out how much of your resin you're going to need to print the part. So this one says it needs 29.61, so it's like 30 milliliters. It comes a little beaker. think we're going to use, what color should we use for the Eiffel Tower? Use black. It's going to be 30, so we'll go for a little more than that. Pour this in here. At first I just dumped the whole, and then filled this whole thing up to max, and didn't know any better. Live and learn. That's a lot. There's a lot of mess to try to dump it back into your bottle afterwards, and you get a whole thing full. All right, so bed's level. You've got a file ready. You've got everything in there where it's supposed to be. That's it, and it'll start coming down and start doing its thing. This is important. When you get this thing, it comes with this rubber gasket, not on here, but you need to put it on here because that's what creates the, I guess they said creates a vacuum inside there. Because when it moves up and down coming out of the plastic, it needs that suction of some sort. I'm not sure how it all works really yet at this point, but every website is one, they stress the importance of that. Put it all the way down to the bottom. That up and down motion is what was causing the vacuum, and would actually pull the part off the plate before. So right now the UV light is being projected onto that resin, and wherever the light hits is where it hardens, and that's what creates each layer. So, put the lid on it and find something to do for a little while.